So needless to say, I have discovered my audience's love for cliffhangers. I know you guys love cliffhangers, and in the last episode, it was one hell of a cliffhanger, but not really, because you knew what was going to happen next, as we won the draft lottery for the first time, really for the first time in this series, and we are destined to pick Dylan Redden, the 18-year-old medium franchise with the Gretzky-style comparison. He will join Mr. Fragapane, call him what you will. We'll call him Fragapane from now on. Howard Fragapane. The faster you say it, the better it sounds. Let's get right down to business, because we have a lot to get to in this episode, including this draft that I am very much excited for, as Alex Ovechkin retires at 36 years old with 775 goals. Good Lord, 420 for Thomas Vanek. Nice. Defensively, let's take a look here. Dion Phaneuf, Seabrook, Cronwall, Bouwmeester, and company. And for goaltenders, Cam Ward, the biggest snake oil salesman in NHL history. Oh my God. I give all the credit in the world to Cam Ward, the fact he was able to make as much money as he did in his career. Regardless, it is time. It is the moment we've all been waiting for. Not just you, not just me. We have all been waiting for this moment. Draft day is here, and we have the number 1 overall pick. I am pumped. I'm excited to select Zetterberg. Obviously not. But let's take a look here. McCarthy, again, comparable to Zdeno Chara, the full stats there. There's Zetterberg as well, who also looks amazing, comparable to Patrick Kane. There's Knighty, who is an absolute monster defensively. Like, really, those numbers are insane for the Q. And Heinonen, who is also tremendous. But in the end, there is only one clear and decisive choice. Dylan Redden will join Fragapane on that top line and lead us into what will hopefully be a dominant era. Dylan Redden, welcome to California. Welcome to the Golden Seals. Oh God, it feels so good. But here's the problem, right? Here's the problem. That's just one pick. The pressure is on now to continue to deliver. So let's really get into this draft now, because this is where the pressure is on. We have to deliver. We have to make the most of this. And I would say Bryant Nickerson, the Belgian. Okay, the Belgian might be the best option. Comparable to Brindamore. There is Trent Sims, a gem of a defenseman. Comparable to Shattenkirk. We have some good options here. Sammy Hall. We have had some legendary Halls in the channel's history. Steve Krogh as well. Yeah, I don't care if he's low elite. Are you seeing this right now? Oh my God. There's no way he's not an 80-something as a low elite. That's absolutely insane. That is absolutely insane. He is 100% the next pick. Isaiah Kuiper? I think it'd be Kuiper. Comparable to Luongo is looking good as well. But yeah, there's not even a choice here. There's not even a discussion. Jean Fortier, the goaltender. No. We will go back to the top of the board. Hopefully we can still get some decent players in this draft, but Trent Sims, I mean, there is Hall at a medium 4. We do have Nickerson at a medium 6, but there is no doubt in my mind it has to be Steve Krogh. You look at the numbers that he put up in the queue as an 18-year-old. You look at the attributes. Steve Krogh is the guy. 2 high-end additions to this team. How good will Krogh end up being? A low elite with those grades? That is simply phenomenal. So already, especially when we have the pressure of making sure this is a top-notch draft, we have already done so much with those first 2 picks. And in fairness, Ruben Palmieri might not be the worst selection. Next up, Julian Foy, also not terrible at a low 4. Ferguson, we know, is a bit of a bust. Let's see who else we can find here. The pressure's on, but regardless of what happens next, you could really argue that we are, we're in the green. Like, we are good to go. No matter what happens the rest of the way in this draft, we are fine. Like, we could not end up with another NHLer out of the rest of this draft, and I'd be okay. I really would be. We have done that well. Lebriere is actually not that terrible either. Who else do we have? Is there a can't miss go-to? Hervinen's not that bad, honestly. Bergfist, not a ton to go off of. Cons, similar to Seabrook. I haven't really seen that one guy that I am dead set on choosing here. There is a low top 6 in Silas Upshaw. Decent shooting. What about Silas Boys? Not so much. We also have Mats Backstrom. Alright, I think we're too far down the board at this point to have to worry about it. So who the hell did we have pinned here? It's definitely best guess from this point. There is the goaltender, there is the defenseman in Julian Foy. I mean, Palmieri had a decent point total for an 18-year-old on Saskatoon. Foy didn't do a whole hell of a lot, but the starting grades aren't terrible. Definitely more of a physical option. Low top 4, not the best potential in the world. Hoagland's starting grades aren't terrible, comparable to Mike Smith. And then Gustav's Radulov, 5'9", but comparable to David Backes. Interesting. The problem is we don't need a goaltender, but Hoagland seems like the guy to take. At least he did for me. In terms of the Central Scouting rankings, Loxton, there wasn't a ton to go off of there. Our scouts have, I think, Walter next. Foy is further up. I'm a little bit concerned at his low 4, but I feel like Julian Foy is still a good way to go, and we are still going to need another defenseman, so we'll go ahead and pick him. I'm not overly set on it, but we do need defensive options over goaltending options still, so I feel like that's going to work out relatively well, as, again, Silas Boys is available. We just don't have a ton to go off of. What about Pekorkin? Not a ton to go off of either. We have Nicholas Steen. Not much there. Mats Backstrom, again, still not much to go off of. Nathaniel Gore, a couple of B grades, but it's not overly accurate. Ken Graham of the Calgary Hitmen. Elijah Witt is decent. Again, medium 7th isn't the most promising. What about Russell Bufflin? Hello, point total. He's 19. Not a terrible point total. Comparable to Zetterberg. Might be worth the risk. He's gone up the board recently. We have Wayne Linden. Also did very well point total-wise. No comparable style. Dylan Reichel, 20 points. Comparable to Bouwmeester. Hello. Well, you're going to be a project, aren't you? You are going to be a project. But with that potential, I think we have a winner. Unless we go for Tristan Shanahan, the goaltender, who is listed as a gem. And I don't think we can. Hold on a minute. Rudy Barahowski is the favorite as of this moment. Is there anybody else who's more high-end? Neil Boland, not so much. I need guarantees here. And we're not going to have it until later on in the draft. So let's take a look here. I think, to be honest, the choice is fairly straightforward. It's going to be Barahowski. It's going to be Barahowski. I mean, Hogan, 1.35 games as an 18-year-old. The grades are a bit rough, whereas Barahowski put up points as a 19-year-old. The grades are a little bit better. So I think I'm feeling better about that. Bufflin, not as much to go off of. Shanahan, we don't exactly need. Rudy Barahowski is going to be my next pick. I know he's 19 years old, but medium elite with some half-decent grades. Let's go for it. That brings us into the 5th round. And admittedly, I'm worried about whether or not some of these picks will end up being the right ones. Hello, Korolyuk. Just a pure sniper. I like the sounds of that. What about Joseph Thorburn? Comparable to Bo Horvat. We have Theo Nguyen or Theo Wynn. Again, it depends. I've met people who pronounce that that surname in different ways. He's also not terrible. Dawson Richter, not so much. Anybody else here? Reardon? Aaron Reardon is okay. Nothing great, though. Glenn Acton. Neither of those two are terrible, but we need more set-in-stone options. Like Levesque, we can pretty much guarantee he's going to be more of a project than anything. Kimo Pedersen, meh. Ivan Vesyunov, injury-prone, comparable to Sagan. Similar style. Hello. Now, I know we don't need goaltenders, but he's 20 years old. Yeah, I think he might be the guy. This might be the time to take a goaltender. It's looking like it's going to be a pretty damn good draft for goaltenders, although Jared Monroe. Norena looks like he could be great, but Jared Monroe would fit the needs that much better. Low top six in Leserte. We're good. All right. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Options are a wonderful thing on occasion, but for me, it comes down. Oh boy, who does it come down to? So Aaron Reardon, no. Acton, comparable to Taylor Hall. So Taylor or Tyler? 15 goals, 29 assists at 18, not terrible. Vesyunov had the Sagan comparison, but there's not much to go off of. Korolyuk as a pure sniper. Jared Monroe as a half-decent medium 4. Thorburn, also looking okay. To me, it comes down to Monroe or it comes down to Norena. And I do like the grades on Norena to start as a 20-year-old. Or we go with Monroe. Damn. I gotta be honest. I feel like Sammy Norena might be too good to pass up on. We do have goaltenders already. We do need some extra defensive depth. But I'm not entirely sold on all of our goaltenders, and he could just add that little bit of extra competition. I'm going for Sammy Norena. I'm going to trust my gut on this one. Monroe might not be that bad. He might be what we need more of in terms of, needing that extra bit of defensive depth, but we have taken Foy, and I just have a good feeling about Norena. With those B grades, his puck control was pretty bad, but I feel like he might have been the right option. Time will tell. Where like Stevenson, for example, good save percentage, but we don't have much on the grades. UC Curry, I wish your name was Yari. I'd take you immediately. Maxim Zhamnov, I think more than anything we'll probably look for a defenseman here, but we're really just looking for anyone who's undeniable, like Ruslan Jass. Lalonde, 19 points. Not bad. For a low elite, not bad. Malachi Lynn. What about Corey Hartman? Not terrible with the physical grades and the puck skills. What else do we have here? Corbin Connor. For a second, I thought his name was Connor, and I would have been so pumped. Igor Medvinov. Not overly sold on that. Francis Jenks is an 18-year-old. Essa Tuomainen is okay. A lot of low elites here. Kavanagh. We also have AJ Welch, 15 points as an 18-year-old. And from there, Michael Morrow, definitely more of a project, but he is 18 years old. At least we know the potential is confirmed. Karhalati, the B shooting, is pretty nice, but he is 20. Bryson Habsheed, comparable to Hornqvist. Tyson Streit. We have Mark Lessert. Hello. Not a bad point total at all for a 19-year-old. Good skating, good shooting as well. I have to sneeze, and I can't jump cut it because the timer's going. All right, we're good. Quick sneeze, power sneeze. Hunter Gove is also okay. Junior Scatchard. I mean, it might be tough to go wrong here. Dallas Pratt. It might be tough to screw this up. I'll find a way, as I typically do. I just want to get a look at everyone here. I know we're running low on time. Henridius, we don't have enough to go off of. Rayom, we don't have enough to go off of. Racine, I mean, defensively it's pretty rough, but the skating and the shooting was okay. Boris Zikov, Yeah, Marshment. The Marshment. And then we have some starters, but obviously we're not really going to look to take another goaltender in this draft. It's probably controversial that I took another goaltender as it is. But again, you see those B grades, you see the potential that was locked in. I feel pretty good about it. So, as far as who the hell we're taking here, I mean, there's the one medium 6. There's the one medium 6 guaranteed. And there's the low elite in Lalonde guaranteed. So there's one defenseman, which judging on that scouting ranking, I'll try to get in the 7th round. Other than that, we look to take somebody else now. And really based on grades, comes down to Michel Moreau or Lacerte. And we're going to go for Moreau. Just have the guarantee. He's more of a project, but that's all right. And of course, he can spend the next few years in the CHL. And we'll see who we get here to cap off this draft. The defenseman, Lalonde, is still there. She's also the highest rated guy according to our scouts. So there we go. We'll take him, the 6'4", low elite potential defenseman, to end this draft. On paper, it looks to be an extremely promising draft. That looks to have been the draft that can make sure that we are on the right course moving forward, as we have a shitload of scouts that we have to deal with here. But again, it's looking like we are on the right track. I'd like to think so. It looked like we were there to begin with. That draft will more than likely only help. As let's see here. B- scouts are the weakest ones. I'm going to ditch these two B- scouts, but then again, they're both European. I don't think we want to do that. God, we got to send out quite a few offers too. I have to fire somebody, right? I have to fire somebody just to make room. So like Jassu or Roberts. I feel like Roberts might be a bit more valuable. They're both A+ in that regard. I'm not sure what I'm going to do in terms of who's getting fired there or not. But overall, I'm feeling okay. I mean, I am going to want to check the free agent list at the very least to see if there is somebody that is really worth taking there. But I don't know. It's a tough call. It's a tough call. For now, we'll just re-sign pretty much everybody. Jassu or Roberts? Jassu, you're the younger of the two. We'll try to bring you back. And I think I'm just going to let Roberts go for now so I can at least get a look at what the free agent market is going to be for scouts. So we'll take care of that. And let's take a look at the contracts for our team. As Niedermeyer is going to need his first big deal, which is a big deal. At the very least, we're not going to have some people take up, as much in terms of contract spots. Fedorov is also an RFA, which, I mean, looking at this team, I think probably what we're going to want to do is have Fedorov and Wilson, and then down in the AHL have Sestito and Narena as the 1-2 punch. So Fedorov will still be signed. He's not looking for much. We'll offer him the max, and we'll still look to sign Narena, if I'm allowed to be honest. 6 goaltenders. I could just buy out Bailey, because it's not looking too good for Braxton Bailey at this point, the former 7th round selection. You know what? I am going to want to buy him out, because I want to get Narena onto this team as soon as possible. And it's not the end of the world to buy out somebody here. So it's going to be a 2-year buyout at just over $100K. That's fine. We can afford to do that. And he's someone that, even if we let him go to like the RFA market, he was never going to get a contract offer. Niedermeyer, on the other hand, asking for 6.9. Nice. I could do the 85% trick. You know what? Niedermeyer, no. Let's negotiate, buddy. I know you only want 2 years. I'm interested in 8. 7.8 for 8 years. Let's just get you locked up right now. Cook as well. Someone who should be on our roster long term. Let's try to get you for 3 years. Reichel, you'll still have some value for us. Let's again go 925. Sigalet, of course, the random free agent signing. You'll be ditched for now. Cullity and Festerling, you are also on your way out. And we will sign Foy. We will sign Lalonde. And that is it for defense there. But overall, again, especially that draft pick, Fuller, the way Rokan's developed, the defense is taking shape. Pilstrom, a 75 at 19. He should get better over this offseason, too. Barahowski, you need a deal. Krog, I'm extremely excited to see what he becomes. Moreau, I'm expecting him to be a little bit lower of an overall. Curtis, you're not the best, but we could still use you for a little bit of time. Redix can be let go of for now. And then the franchise. Redden. Yes. Oh, God. I feel great about that draft. Not even looking at who we got number 1 overall. Maybe I'm expecting too much. Maybe I'm a tad bit too optimistic. Maybe it's just, we're feeling good because we finally won the lottery. But I am feeling damn good right now. As Niedermeyer accepted the 8-year deal. So Niedermeyer is here. I might have been able to even go cheaper if I wanted to. That might be something that I regret in the future. I probably could have gone with and succeeded with the 85% trick there. Which, if you don't know what that is, I have a video about it on the channel. And it doesn't always work. Sometimes players will still reject it. But you, again, offer 85% of what the player is asking for. That is the minimum number. Is the minimum number that a player is willing to accept. And for the vast majority of the time, players accept it. There are certain exceptions, though. So we could have probably saved ourselves a little bit more. I do have a video about that on the channel, though. You could just find it. I think searching 85% trick will work. But yeah, it doesn't always work. I might have been able to save myself just a tad bit more money there. And maybe I'll regret that. But we did get him locked up for an 8-year deal, the max, which is tremendous news for us, as Sven Sundin has accepted. So let's get to free agency. We'll see what we have for scouts, and we will see how many offers we need to send out to fill out this team. And we should still be able to get to a season sim in this episode with ease. So let's see. Any top-notch scouts? There is Cesar Boisclair. There's also a normal A scout as well. So we'll send him an offer. And then there is Bomick. A couple of A minuses as well. I at least want Bomick as well, I think. I should check to see how good he is. Overall, you know what? Let's just go for Boisclair. Our scouts are solid. Like, it's not anything too... maybe we will go crazy here. Maybe we will go crazy. How many B grade scouts were there? Because we have quite a few... Or we had some B minuses. There are quite a few B grade scouts as well. I might be able to get a couple more A minuses on the books. I'm not too concerned about it, really. We should be okay, I'd like to think. Famous last words, of course. But we'll see what happens in that regard. $32 million. Nathan McKinnon hits the open market at 26 years old. So we have 34 contracts with $32 million to spend. Right. Well, we will we'll bring back the Rhino for a season. Let's drop that down to about 15 mil, roughly. 16 works. Anything under 16. So we'll sign the Rhino, and we'll sign Sigalet as well to those big-time money contracts. And from there, we'll bring in whatever vets we can to fill out the AHL roster. So we are good to go there with those two. I'm going to let them sign first, and then I'm going to try to just sim far enough as to where it'll be like, hey, you need to sign more players. And then we will. We'll be good to go. So Boisclair has signed. So we have an A-plus grade scout joining the group. Those two have accepted their contracts. Let's just wait for that alert as far as, hey, you need to sign more players. I do not want Brian Rust. Thank you, though, Washington. Thank you for your kind offer and generosity. I'm going to decline that, though, because I can't accept it anyway. As per the rules of the series. If you think I'm going to give up a third-round pick, to me, a third-round pick is as good as gold. I better be seeing, like, prime Ovechkin for that third-round pick if I'm going to break the rules of my own series and tarnish my reputation, damn it. Which I wouldn't do anyway, because, I don't think we've ever, in a draft glory, just been like, okay, yeah, I'm going to cheat. It's always like, okay, guys, we're pretty much out of the situation. Am I allowed to trade for picks just to try and make it more interesting to try and win the core? That we inevitably end up getting attached to, of course, because we see these guys develop throughout their entire career, and it can be frustrating, especially for some of them in some of these series, to go year in and year out, to have them find no success whatsoever, which hopefully does not happen in this series. I actually didn't get the alert to sign anybody, which is great news for me. Hopefully it just fills out the AHL roster on its own. So let's see here. We want to check what's going on with Sestito and with Narena. These two are going to be at the NHL level regardless, more than likely. So we'll call up those two. Actually, you know what? No. Narena and Stahlberg? Would Narena be ahead of Stahlberg? We'd actually be under the cap. Jesus, I have $35 million in space again. All right, well, I need to go sign some players then, apparently. Not sure why that happened, unless it reset the two-way deals, or the one-way deals to two-way deals. I was going to say 2-year deals. Sigalet? No, Sigalet's still there. Okay, so, yeah. I need to go sign more players to a lot more money. Let's do that yet again, and we'll see what we're dealing with. So Curtis Lazar at the top of the list. 4 veterans. Let's go for Redox again. The Redox. The Maddox Redox. And that tremendous beard. God damn, what a beard. We'll go about $16 million for you as well. How much cap space do I have here? Team cap at $34 million again. Jesus. So Festerling as well will get about a $16 million deal. Because why the hell not? Absolutely ridiculous. But hey, it's the way we make this series work, by just handing some veterans way too much goddamn money. That is the correct answer. So it's advanced day here. Festerling accepts. Redox is going to make me wait for some reason. You're lucky I don't change my mind, Redox. You're lucky. Can you please accept, though? I got stuff to do. Thank you very much. So those two are back under contract. Let's get this roster set for the pre-season. So we'll have Narena with Stahlberg. I don't know if it's going to make Stahlberg the starter by default. It probably would, actually. Sestito's showing up as a 67. You know what? I think we'll leave those two for the moment. I'll try to make sure that Narena's the starter. But with auto-rotate, there's no guarantee. Jenks is not real. So we'll drop Sigalet, call up Lalonde and Foy. And then who gets dropped? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 with Fuller. So Niedermeyer and Rokon can go down to the AHL for the moment, while everyone else gets an opportunity. What the hell? 3. I can't count. Fuller as well. Yeah, I was going to say, wait a minute. I didn't just send him down to the AHL or to the CHL, did I? Okay, thank God. I thought for a second I just sent him back to junior, and I'm like, that is terrible. He'd still develop, but we'd miss him for this season. So Fragapani, Kaliev, Bachman, you guys can be sent down. You had a tremendous season last year. We're going to call up Bure, Barahowski, and Moreau to start. Goretzky and Krog are the next two up. Is there anybody else that we really don't know a ton about? Bachman? Oh, Bachman's going to be on the roster. So Webb, Whitmore, and Novoseltsev. Let's get them an opportunity to get some playing time. Why the hell not? And we'll send down the Rhino as well. No, we will not. Okay, so that is it. 10, 11, and 12. Beautiful. So let's set up this roster. We'll see how these guys develop, or what the overalls end up being. Redden's on that top line with Krog and Booze. That's what I like to see. And defensively, we're good. Goaltending-wise, we'll try to make sure that Narena is the starter. No guarantees there. And Sestito, going best lines, was actually made the top goaltender in the AHL. That is very interesting. This roster might end up changing as we go along throughout this season. Let's just go ahead and send it today after the Vancouver game, and we'll see what we're dealing with. Our scouts, for the moment, they're good where they are. I'm not too concerned. Of course, as we progress through the season, we'll start to change things up if need be. But right now, I'm feeling good. I'm anxious to see what we have in terms of overalls and potentials, particularly, of course, for our top 2 draft picks from this past year. It's looking very promising. We have a chance to finish over 500 in the preseason. Not the biggest accomplishment in the world, but we'll take it, all things considered. Can we beat Vancouver? No, we very much cannot. A 7-0 loss to the Canucks, as Redden had 6 points in 7 games. Here we go. Here we go. What are we dealing with? What are we dealing with? A 79? It's not locked in, is it? It's not. Right, so we know he has 5-star puck skills, 5-star shooting, 4.5 senses, 5-star skating, 4.5 defense. He's going to be a monster. He's so much better than the 79. Krog, not locked in at a 77. We know he has 4.5 puck skills, 4 senses, 4.5 shooting, 4 physical, 5 skating, and 4.5 defense. God damn. Greer, Barahowski, Moreau is definitely a prospect. A long-term prospect is the best way to phrase that there. Goaltending? How the hell is Stahlberg up to a 78, by the way? Narena, unfortunately, might not have been the way to go. You looked at those grades. At least I did, saw B-. I didn't think B- would mean 3 stars. At least we know what to look out for now. That's pretty disappointing. We could have had the extra defenseman. Was worth the risk. You never know. He might develop. And, of course, getting compensation picks for goaltenders, fairly straightforward. Now, if I call up these 2 and I go best lines for goaltenders, who does it put in the starting spot? It puts Stahlberg. That is very interesting. It puts Stahlberg and Fedorov. I'm intrigued, because we could send down Pedro Wilson and go with Wilson and Sestito to start the year. It depends on how good Stahlberg is, if he's magically become this dominant goaltender. Yeah, I think to start the year, my original plan might have to take a back seat. Until we see just how good Stahlberg is. Defensively, it's still pretty straightforward. It's going to be the same 6 that we had last year. Niedermeyer, Rokon, Fuller, Cook, Pilstrom, and Reichel. And then forward-wise, we pretty much know what we're dealing with here, as those 3 will be sent down. The top 3 come back up. Someone got sent down to junior. I think it technically would have been Moreau. Then let's see. We know Rhino needs to be sent down. Beret and Barahowski, so Wong, Baldwin, and we'll just call up Corriston now to save time. Someone else gets sent back down to junior. It's 10, 11, 12 with Whitmore. And we will call up Saugus, Curtis. Those are the last 2. And it will be for Greer and Whitmore. So this is the team. I cannot wait to see what we're capable of, but we still have some question marks heading into this next year that I wasn't exactly expecting. Redden, Fragapani, and Kaliev right now is the top line. Wong, Baldwin, Krog, Corriston, Booz, Bachman way down there in the 3rd line. Curtis, Saugus, and Halvardson. It might be worth it for me to reorder positions for the sake of best Lions. And then defensively, it's solid. It's solid. The big question here, though, is goaltending and how that is set up. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to optimize this, set up people left wing, right wing, and everything, because that'll help with the power play. So give me a minute, and then we'll be ready to begin the season. Say hello to your 2022-2023 California Golden Seals. This is the lineup that we're moving forward with. Redden, Fragapani, and Krog on the top line. Kaliev, Bachman, and Corriston, at least until we see what Redden is, and then maybe we bump up Kaliev again. Caden Wong, Luke Baldwin, and Lionel Saugus, Dylan Curtis, Roberto Booz, and Jesper Halverson. Defensively, Josiah Niedermeyer with Anthony Rocon, Barry Fuller, and Nico Pilstrom. Jerry Reichel with Kyle Cook, and of course, starting in goal for the moment, Liam Stahlberg. We're going to see just how good he is. We might as well go with the best lineup possible, because even if our goaltender's bad, as we managed to see last year, we're probably going to win quite a few games. So we might as well just try to be as good as we possibly can be. Fragapani's still going to be the captain. Kaliev has the other A. Niedermeyer has the other one. I was double checking this actually to see if that's how I wanted to go through with it. I think I do. We're not going to remove that A from Kaliev just yet. We're going to make Redden earn it. I know he has the Gretzky comparison, but he still has to earn his stripes. And actually, there is one other thing I forgot to do. Let's set up the AHL lines relatively quickly. And actually, we don't even really have to set them up, as quite a few guys were just randomly signed. I just need to make sure that none of our guys that were drafted end up being out of the lineup, which I don't think they are. The majority of our players ended up being in junior or on the roster. So even someone like Sean Mayer, I think we're good. Except, there we go, defensively, Foy needs to get into the lineup. That's it. So we'll put him in for Mayer, and with that, we're good to go. So I'm not expecting the duel of narwhals to be good whatsoever. I'm not really expecting our main team to be that good, especially when you look at the overalls in the bottom six. But who knows? Last year, we surprised some people. We still finished dead last, but we won probably double the games that I expected us to. Maybe this season we do take another step back, or maybe this is the year where things start to come together. Regardless, I'm not going to be upset. I just realized we actually still have a pro scout too. Kind of a waste, but for the moment, I'm too lazy to change it. So we'll wait to see here. I'm going to wait until the beginning of November anyway, because I need to see what the lines end up being, what the goaltending situation's looking like, and whether or not Stahlberg is actually the real deal and worthy of being our starter. That's the one thing we have to keep an eye on, and I suppose the AHL goaltending as well, as I'll decline that. I'll remember to clear out the trade block as well so we don't have to deal with it. So let's see, we're 3-5 at the end of the opening month, or really half month. Kaliev's leading the team in points, 6 points in 8 games. But let's take a look at any confirmed overalls. Redden confirmed at an 81 at 18 years old. Good Lord. Fragapani confirmed at an 89. Krog at a 78. What a pickup there in the second round. Loving it. Kaliev confirmed at an 82. We have Bachman up to a 77. It's not bad for his potential. Korston's a 72. We have Caden Wong up to a 77, the low elite potential. 73 Baldwin and 72 Saugus. Fourth line of Curtis, Booze, and Halvardson. This team, man, it's coming together much more quickly than I would have expected. Oh my God. Josiah Niedermeyer. How did we get you 4th overall? How on earth did we get you at 4th overall? Rocon's an 87, 81 for Fuller, 79 for Pilstrom at 19 years old. Reichel's a 73, Cook is a 76. For goaltending, let's take a look here. Stahlberg settled back down to a 74. Fedorov is near a 72. Sestito confirmed at a 76. Hello, the franchise has arrived. 76 out of nowhere. Some of the development of these players has been absolutely insane. So Fedorov's not locked in yet. Sestito, though, out of nowhere is up to a 76. So we are going to make that change. If we lose Stahlberg the waiver, so be it, which we didn't. We'll still have Fedorov be the guy there, and then I can't help but think, especially with that potential, the best way to go here is going to be Pedro Wilson and Norena as the 1-2 punch. So Sestito, congratulations. Out of nowhere, you are the top goaltender on this franchise. Don't know how that necessarily happened, but it did. Again, it wasn't looking that great for him. I didn't think he was really going to develop. It wasn't looking good, but he has arrived. He is the top goaltender in our system at the moment. And again, Pedro, Wilson, and Narena. Was it Sven Narena? It was Sami Narena. Sami Narena. There we go. Fedorov, you'll get to be the backup. But out of nowhere, again, Brock Sestito has just... He's claimed his stake to the throne. He is going to be our starting goaltender moving forward through the rest of this season. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of maintenance here. I mean, the episode's already long enough, so, I mean, yeah, who cares if it's an extra couple of seconds, right? This will end up changing that scout around. Midway through the season, I'm going to have to change the scouts around as well. We'll see. This has ended up being a little bit longer of an episode already than I initially intended. But when you look at how the draft went, when you look at the development of some of these players, and of course just a factor in that the preseason matters, especially in a series like this, I'm not really surprised that it's gone the way that it has. Boy Claire, we can assign you from here. What are you good at, sir? In terms of scouting, you're really good in the QMJHL. So congratulations, you're going to Canada. You're going to Canada. QMJHL. Have fun and find me some steals and some future gems and just all around great players that can help me win championships, please. And I say championships as in multiple. That would be great. We are perhaps fooling ourselves, but we're aiming high with this series. This team has come together in record time, I feel like. In other Draft to Glory series, we've done well. But considering we are, heading into our 5th season? This is season 5, I do believe. Let me know if I'm wrong there. Wouldn't be surprised if I am. To see the team in the shape it's in right now, knowing that, yeah, we need some forward depth to come along. We still need an improved third pairing. But the goaltending's coming along now. In terms of high-end options, we need one more truly great right wing. Or, hell, we could just put Kaliev up there. But right now we have him where he is to spread the wealth a bit. I'm feeling so optimistic in regards to this team, which is great. Because again, for some of you who might be new to the channel, we have had Draft to Glory series. I've been running Draft to Glory series on my channel since NHL 17. We have had some series that have had some disappointing moments. But feel free to go back and watch all of them to see what I mean by that. As we are 8-13-2, no real reason to stop here. Let's go up to the new year. So I'm hoping that this series will set the standard, will set the bar for the rest of the year to come with NHL 19. Fingers crossed, as we'll get our first look at the draft class for this year. And it's a medium elite Warren Morris at the top of the list. Smaller player for Saskatoon already. Oh my god. Oh my god. Is he going to have a Gretzky comparison too? Backstrom. A+, A+. Look at that. How is that Backstrom? I love Nick Backstrom, but damn. There's also Olli Lehtinen, who's off to a little bit of a rough start. Is he going to have a Solani comparison? Oh my god. I saw the shooting. God, I can't speak today. I saw the shooting. I saw the skating. I'm like, Solani? Bam. Teemu Solani comparison. Amazing. There is the Estonian Sergei Ivanov, Ovechkin? No comparison yet, but we'll find out. With the A shooting, maybe not. And again, I still feel as though it's not a glitch. I just feel like that's a representation, again, of, he's an Estonian playing in Russia. It'd be a little bit different if it showed like Belarus there. Steven Dicka. The Dickas. Oh, God. He's also great. Joe Thornton, too. At the top of this draft class. There might not be a franchise-level player, but god damn, is there some talent. Sean Couturier comparison as well. There could be some real talent in the draft this year. We have one gem in Brian Fernandez, projected as an early 3rd round pick, and is honestly looking pretty good. A couple of busts already in Griffith and Henritius. As we will continue onward. How far we make it into this episode from this point, not entirely sure. I gotta be honest, but I'm feeling pretty good. That cliffhanger has us off of our normal pace of a draft per episode, and I don't know if this is the episode where we'll catch up. It might be, it might not be. But like I mentioned, with that draft, it took us just a little bit longer because there were so many good options. Now it's just a question of whether or not we made the right options, which of course we'll find out in the seasons to come. But I'm excited to see what kind of development we might be getting for our players throughout this season as well. And especially some of the guys that we sent back to junior, and whether or not they actually end up developing as well as I hope. As we have arrived January 1st, 2023, we're 15, 18, and 3 on the season. Let's take a look. I mean, we're only 7 points back of a playoff spot. Fragapani is killing it. 28 points in 36 games. Not quite the same pace as last year. Redden is already up to an 84. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Krog's a legitimate 78. Kaliev an 82. Damn. And of course, you could argue certain players should just be on a higher line. You know what? Let's put Kaliev here. Let's put Krog here, Wong there. That works for me. Let's put Kaliev on that top line and just go all in. Pilstrom's up to an 80. What a beast this kid is. Second round pick, low elite, but damn, he is tremendous. And then Sestito again at a 76. Fedorov at a 74. Brock Sestito. Only 9 wins in 22 appearances, but a .921 save percentage. That is unreal. He just completely jumped Pedro Wilson, who's really been struggling, but I don't believe the Doolin Narwhals team is that good. Of course, it's not, clearly, as it's just a mix of our lowest rated prospects and just a bunch of random filler that the AHL team itself ended up signing. And not to mention Mr. Redox, who is getting paid like $16 million. I guess for now, we'll continue onward to February. We'll see if we can get through this season at the very least. But when you consider, the season recap, there's no way that we're going to make it to a draft in this episode. Who knows? We might even be in playoff contention. We might be. Maybe. Am I trying reverse psychology with EA to make sure it hands us losses because I don't actually think that we're ready yet? Maybe. Is it working? You decide. As we, we're really, we're win 1, win 2, lose 2 at the moment. So we're still not terrible. 20 wins on the season at this point. North Bay just getting absolutely crushed. We do have an upgraded look at the draft class, as we do have a report now on Sergei Ivanov, who is comparable to Patrick Kane. Good Lord. Warren Moore is still at the top of the list, still having a phenomenal season for the Saskatoon Blades. So overall, we're getting pretty much all the info that we would want on some of these prospects, so my scouts aren't letting me down. Jean Lecavalier, by the way. And Serge Otterize, because, Otterize is a common name, apparently. Apparently. We didn't look at the gems, we didn't look at the bust. That's okay, we'll take a look later on. Still no guarantee as to whether or not a gem is a guarantee. There's supposed to be, but are they a gem just for the time, or are they a gem in general? That's still going to take some time to figure out how much we want to trust that. Let's keep moving onward here. We're going to be able to get to the end of the season in this episode at the very least. We are going to see whether or not down the stretch we can win some games and maybe put ourselves into a position to sneak into the playoffs. There is an outside possibility of that happening. But right now, with the way we're losing games, it's still looking like we're going to win close to 30 games, if not more. But I'd still say we're fighting right now to have the best odds at the number 1 pick in the draft, which I think for at least this next season is still ideal. If we could get one more game changer of a forward, like we have our top pairing, we arguably have our second pairing with Pilstrom and Fuller. So defensively, we just need to find some depth between the 2nd and 5th round that can make up that third pairing in the future. And you could argue we already have it with some of the guys we have in the AHL right now. We just need those extra few game changers at forward. One more elite level winger or second line forward. The thing is, with the way I have the team set up right now, not too many of our guys have a decent face-off rating. So getting that elite second-line center could be the difference maker. I don't exactly want to move Redden down and prefer to keep him on the wing. So it's tough to say how that's really going to play out. And right now, again, I'm still feeling confident with how my scouts are handling things. I think I could still leave myself enough time to make some adjustments and scout who I want to scout once the regular season is over. Famous last words there as well. It's Jordan Staal's on waivers. Wow, do we know his overall? Probably not at this point, right? Yeah, he's 34 though. So things have taken a turn for the worse for Jordan Staal in Carolina. But like I said, I'm feeling as though scouting-wise I'll be able to do what I want to do and that the scouts are doing okay, all things considered. We shall see. Time will tell. So if we end up having a poor draft because I don't have much to go off of later on this year, then it will absolutely be my fault for not just pausing the video at a moment like this and seeing what we're dealing with. Although it is looking to be pretty much confirmed that we are not going to be in the playoffs and that we are going to be battling for that number 1 pick. So you do have the likes of Rick Cambeats as well. I think for the moment, again, some things that the scout needs to change. Let me take a look at the standings right now because I might make that change. I might make that change here and now just to see what we're dealing with. Yeah, we're not going to make it. So give me a moment. I will optimize the scouts. We'll take a look at the end of the season stats and everything. Not getting to another draft in this episode, but we will find out the lottery results. All right, here we go. The final stretch of this episode. Scouting-wise, we're good to go. We know we're not making the playoffs. We know we're not getting to the draft in this episode. But at the very least, we can do a full season recap and see everything for the season, the stats, the player progression, and we'll end this episode yet again on the lottery results. So that's kind of how, formula-wise, it's looking like it's going to be, unless I cut an episode short at some point in the near future, or if we make the playoffs at some point in the near future. So rather going preseason to preseason, it's going lottery to lottery. Will we hit 30 wins, by the way? We will not. So last year is still just bizarre. That's the only way to explain that prior season where somehow, some way, we had that level of success. Let's take a look first and foremost at the regular season standings. Of course, we'll get a look at the playoff bracket at a different point. So we did finish dead last on 64 points, 6 points back of Minnesota. So yet again, we have the best odds to get that number 1 pick. We have barely found success with that. We did last year, and it worked out quite well. Let's take a look at our team here as Fragapani, 89 overall now at 22 years old. 17 goals, 52 assists for him. As you get a look at his attributes now, just an absolute beast. Dylan Redden in his rookie season, is that good enough to win the Calder? I'm not sure, but 59 points at 18 years old. Hold the phone is what we're saying. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think we're looking good for the future. 18 years old, 89 overall. Good Lord. He's set up as a 2-way, which is fair. We could make him, honestly, and some people don't like me changing player types, but Fragapani being set up as the playmaker and changing Redden to a sniper, again, if we change someone to a sniper, they're more likely to have attributes develop that are good for a sniper. Having Redden be a 2-way, we know he's capable of putting up points. Hell, he could be a power forward with that body checking, but I think if we set him up as a sniper, that could be the way to go. I really do. Let me know what you think about that. But Dylan Redden, an absolute monster. Arthur Kaliev, 46 points, 22 goals this season, and 82 overall at 21 years old. Also just phenomenal. 41 points for Caden Wong. He's up to a 79, a true fourth liner at 22 years old. He had himself a good season, a 5th round choice back in 2019. Steve Krogh in his rookie season, 37 points, a 78 overall at 19 years old, which again is simply tremendous. I'm very happy with that pickup. Luke Baldwin, 36 points this season, a 74 overall now at 21 years old. Andre Koriston, 31 points at 72 overall. 22 years old now at this point, a former 4th-round pick. Lionel Saugus, 27 points at a 72 overall, which again is just crazy. And Halvardson's a 68, still managed to put up 22 points. I don't know how he did it. Bachman really took a step back, didn't he? Dylan Curtis, I mean, for a 69 overall, nice number, nice production, really. Bachman, 77 overall. Again, compared to last season where, 46 points, but that's the difference between him playing with Fragapane and not. Roberto Booz, 20 points, and he's kind of disappointed, but he is still 19 years old. Defensively, 39 points for Niedermayer, still a 90. Crazy. Anthony Rokon, 88 overall at 20 years old. A beast. Barry Fuller's up to an 82 at 19 years old. Crazy. Jerry Reichel, he's a 73. He's not going to get much better, but he can hold down a spot on the third pairing for the moment. Kyle Cook up to a 76. Like a little bit more development out of him, but he's all right for the moment as well. And then Nico Pilstrom's an 82 at 20 years old. Oh my God. And then the big thing here is goaltending. Brock Sestito is still a 76 at 21. His development is really going to help decide the future here. And I mean, down in the AHL as well, Pedro Wilson's a 73. Morena's still a 59. We could see some late development from these guys here. Do we have anybody that we're worried about? Jenks is a 71. We have Lalonde at a 65 and Foy at a 63. So, again, some defensemen to hold down that third pair. Greer, he's 23 at this point. Not really looking like it's going to work out for him. Who else do we have that we drafted? We have Barahowski at a 63. Novoseltsev at a 63. Whitmore's a 62. Is that it? It is. So those are all the players, at least, who were on the roster by default. Let's actually go back to player stats and see what we were dealing with in terms of league-wide scoring and whether or not we have a Calder winner on our hands. So Sagan led the way, 93 points, one of 3 players to break the 90-point mark. He also led the league, tied for the league lead in 49 goals. Vinehandle. We're looking okay without you. But what could have been with Oscar Vinehandle? That is crazy. Rookie skaters. We do not have a Calder winner. It's going to be Aiden Meach, who went 18th in 2019. The 22-year-old is going to steal it away from Dylan Redden, which is a damn shame. But he did have himself a pretty good season, but still. Krog finished top 5 in rookie scoring as well. So a respectable season for him, all things considered. Let's go through the playoffs. We'll, of course, take a look at everything, the awards. We'll get a look at our player progression as well once that's finalized. And once again, we will end this episode on hopefully a high note of knowing that we have a number 1 overall pick. At the very least, it's another top 4 pick, and that could be the missing piece. But whether or not it ends up being a forward or defenseman would be out of our hands, although are there any top-notch defensemen left? And if we do get a top-notch defenseman, how does that set things up for the future if Pilstrom continues to develop? Of course, we're not dealing with the morale system, but that could complicate things, especially cap-wise, too. Now, some people are like, you don't have to worry about cap. Trust me, it's going to sneak up on us. It always does. Cap always seems to just... I'm trying to think of how to phrase this here, but that's really the only way to phrase it. It always seems to catch up on us. It sneaks up on us and becomes a problem pretty much out of nowhere. We'll see if we can avoid that in this series by having that in mind early on. As Pittsburgh wins the Stanley Cup, the Hartford Wolfpack have won the Calder. Let's take a look at everything and anything and everything to wrap up the season, and then hopefully we have ourselves a number 1 pick. Playoff-wise, Pittsburgh beats Vancouver in 7. You get a full look Final Four. Vancouver over Winnipeg, Pittsburgh over Boston, and down in the AHL, Hartford beats Chicago in 7. So both Cup finals go 7. Pittsburgh is Stanley Cup champions. Buffalo won the President's Trophy, couldn't make the most of it. Sagan wins the Art Ross. Tarasenko wins the Hart. The Norris goes to Ghost Bear. Lady Bing to Sagan. Calder to Meach. That is unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Gretzky Jr. couldn't join Fragapani as a winner. That was now 5 seasons ago. Conn Smythe winner was Matt Murray, as well as the Vezina, back-to-back Vezinas, and 3 out of the last 5 for Matt Murray. The Jennings to Freddie Anderson. The Masterton to Olsen in Vegas. Wenberg wins the Selke. Ted Lindsay to Tarasenko. Line to the Rocket. Richard. Down in the AHL, Chistov put up the most points and was league MVP. Peterson scored the most goals. Rookie was Chistov. Best defenseman was Sanford. Mike Smith was the best goaltender. Mike Condon was the MVP of the playoffs. Let's take a look at what a cup-winning team looks like. We'll get to the progress reports. And then, the main event of this episode, the lottery results. So this is the Penguins team that won the cup. Nyquist was there. Tyler Pitlick, Andrew Kopp, but still many of the familiar faces. Defensively, though, Sami Vatanen, Thomas Hickey, Travis Hamonic, and then, of course, Matt Murray was able to get the job done. Yet again, 29 years old at this point in time. So let's take a look to end this season, the 2022-2023, as far as the overly positive progression. Someone like Bryson Webb really stepped up, which is nice. Redden, of course. Fuller with a good amount of progression. And then down in the AHL, Maurice Bourret stepped up. He's up to a 64. Novoselicev, Lalonde, Foy. We're looking okay. There is somebody missing here that I was hoping to see development from. Michel Moreau. Not looking like that's a pick that's going to pay off, but at the very least, it was a late round selection. So we know that we have the best odds to win the lottery. The question is, will we? To end this episode, do we have back-to-back number 1 overall selections? We do not. We do not. We end up with the 3rd pick in this draft behind Anaheim and Minnesota. So let's take a look actually at the draft class here at who might be available now. Morris is our scout's number 1, but he has fallen behind Lettinen. So there's a decent chance here. It's going to be a forward. Question is, who is it going to be? What do you guys think? Who should we look to target? We have to assume that Lettinen and Morris are going to be off the board. If neither of them are, we go for them. But what do you guys think? We have Steven Dicka, who tore the USA East region to shreds at 18 years old. Not the highest strength of competition. All A's, 1A- in physical, comparable to Joe Thornton. Perhaps the key here, though, Ivanov and Loktionov, both centers. Sergei Ivanov, 26 points in 53 games as a 17-year-old in a men's league. Essentially, he was playing in the KHL. All A's with the exception of physical, and again, has the comparison to Patrick Kane. And then the other center, Kirill Loktionov, the 18-year-old, only had 11 points in the KHL, but all A's in everything, comparable to Sean Couturier. What do you guys think? Out of those top 3, who do you think it's going to be? Let me know who you would pick, and perhaps the favorite overall is who we will end up selecting. For now, we are done here. I thank you for joining me on this marathon episode of the California Golden Seals. Thank you guys for your support with the series. I'm glad you're enjoying it. It might not be daily like most people want, but at the end of the day, I got to keep you coming back for more. I do want to mention this as well. There have been Tukey's Takes videos out on the channel talking about the trades that have happened in the NHL. If you missed the 10,000 subscriber special, check that out. Mainly it's just me kind of ranting and rambling about what the channel's been over the past 3 years. But I've also mentioned I don't exactly know what to do for a 10,000 subscriber special. So the idea of at the very least doing a Q&A was there. Leave comments in that video's comment section if you have anything you want answered. I'll answer whatever, more than likely. So with all that said, again, one more time, thank you guys for the support. I love you all. I will see you in the next one. Who will we draft? It's not quite as certain as it was for this episode.